Hi, welcome to my comparison of the Sub 37 and the Voyager. Really the idea of this is just to have a listen to how they sound sonically or compare sonically. Obviously the different beasts. This has got the arpeggiator and the sequencer. It's got two LFOs, two oscillators with one sub. This has got three oscillators, one LFO, two modulation buses as the Sub 37, but this has got the this panel here, which gives access to, along with the VX351, lots of sort of things you can do with a modular system. So you have outputs for the touchpad X and Y and the area that you put. You've got pitch, velocity, pressure, gate, blah 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 blah, LFO, square, triangle. But what else have we got there? The wheel, filter, pedal, volume on the envelopes. So you got envelopes as well. Yeah, it's this makes a great central sort of unit for a modular setup. And this is a great standalone unit. It does have a CV out, I think it is. Or is it a pitch? It's got pitch CV, filter CV, keyboard gate and vol CV on inputs. So you can control this via modular system, whereas this can control the modular system and can be controlled by one. There are plenty of other inputs in the back here. Okay, let's sort of dive straight in and have a listen to the oscillators. So what I've done here, I've set them both up to a sawtooth oscillator 1. Cut off, filters completely open, resonance completely off. Straight away you can hear this sounds brighter. I remember when I first got the 37. I thought, oh, it does sound a bit dull, but that's the warmth of it. Is it like an old Prodigy or something like that I used to have years ago? But it definitely sounds duller. Not as bright. Now this little trick I forgot to mention on my Model D versus the Voyager review. The amount of filter is 0. Slightly brightening it. Only ever so slightly if you listen. And if you turn it down, which is quite bizarre. Normally think that I should do nothing like this does. Nothing. Anyway, just a sort of by the by there. So, interestingly, when I did the Voyager versus Model D, I found that the Voyager was a lot duller than the Model D. So, as I've got one over here, here is the Model D, Voyager, and the 37. So I've matched the levels as much as I can. On my meter this is reading -22. As you go up and down the keyboards on these, they slightly change. A lot of people sort of respond in comments about getting the levels right, and it's just so difficult while you're tweaking and pulling and prodding and pushing, you know. They do change. So apologies for that as well. Right then, oscillators we have similar to the Voyager on this. We have the triangle through to a saw, through to a square, and up to the pulse. It doesn't go to a 0 pulse, but you can modulate it to a 0 pulse. Let's turn the filter up on this oscillator. Oh no, not a filter, sorry. Oscillator 1 wave, modulation amount. You can see it's going to 0. Very much like the Voyager, so let's just say that again. I think it's a smoother transition into the saw. So give that a little clip as it drops to bring the pulse in. listen to the Voyager on that. Oh, it's quite smooth. So very similar. Look at that, to a pulse. To the pulse. And then a smaller pulse. Or thinner pulse. Yeah, check that out again. So slight differences there, but essentially very alike. Big difference is that this goes from 16 to 2. So your range is, well, I won't do the full range, just from one key. On one key on this we have six octaves, as opposed to 4 octaves here. So that's more flexible. We have hard sync on them both, so let's put oscillator 2 on, let's put a pulse and a sawtooth. Let's turn that up as well. Lovely. And put a hard sync on this, on, oscillator 2 on. So 16 on 4. Actually, these are on 16 and 4. Oh, hold on. So you can hear on the frequency of the second oscillator is going a lot higher on the Voyager, but I like this sound more, I think. If we're obsessing over this, but sounds nicer, that one though, although it's not as there's not a larger frequency difference. This has got keyboard reset as well, which is a lovely feature. You can hear it on some patches more than others. And what it does is it resets the wave perfectly on each key press. So when you do it, especially with bass sounds, they're always exactly the same. Voyager doesn't have that. The Voyager does have FM. This doesn't have FM, but it does have the LFOs go really quite high. So let's do similar on this one. Filter them out. So get into FM territory, you can also use this envelope generator as an LFO as well. So if we set that envelope, so I'm just changing the envelope generator into the filter, changing this to loop. Sorts. And different shapes and that with that. So that's a lovely way of doing the FM. Okay, let's not dwell too much on that. One other thing maybe I should just show you. I've set these on 5 on the outputs there. As we turn this up, it starts to distort. But drive the filter. Which is lovely. Let's have a listen to this. I've done the same on here. Let's just turn the others off. Whoa. See this light coming on. I've put that the output from the right hand output to the external in, just to do that sort of typical wow. So that overdriven sort of sound, the old mini Moog trick that the new Moog Model D has a nice button on the front panel for, as does the Sub 37. So you can hear they both do that in a similar fashion. The overdrive, feedback or external in, so the feedback circuit. That's essentially what I've just been doing on the Voyager. Gives you that slightly juicier sound. Plug it in first, shall I? What they've done on the Sub 37, I think, is make it so that this last sort of, quarter doesn't really exist. Turn it off, on. Have a go on here. Again. Whoa. See, it instantly goes nuts. One other thing to look at on the oscillators, I suppose, is the fact that this has a duo mode. So got to have both oscillators on. No chance of doing that on the Voyager.